and welcome to another episode of Literature Podcast. I'm Joanna.
And I'm Mich, and today we're back with another Harry Potter episode.
Today we're covering the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows book.
That's it. It's the last book of the Harry Potter series, not including all the other books like Cursed Child or Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them or anything. But I mean, we may do that later on in other episodes. We're talking about it.
Yeah, it's just the last actual Harry Potter book, because I don't count the Cursed Child as the 8th book.
No.
This episode will contain spoilers, so if you have not read the Harry Potter series, you may not want to listen to this episode. But seriously, if you haven't read the Harry Potter series at this point, I'm not going to judge you, but you need to go rectify that immediately. Go to your library, local bookstore, wherever, just read them. And if you have read them, we shall continue this episode shortly. Okay, and we're back. So, I get a lot of feels in this book. I cry a lot while I read this, especially in the end. And I get so grumpy when someone tries to pull me away. Like, Mike interrupted me when I was reading The Prince's Tale, I think is the chapter, near the end. I'm like, go away, I'm just so angry. Like, you cannot pull me away from this.
I cry a lot, but I don't get mad if I have to put it down, you know? I feel like I can compartmentalize a little bit better.
I can't. If I'm emotional and you're trying to pull me away from that emotion, and then I'm going to jump back in and just be emotional all over again. No. Just wait till it's over.
I read the last half of the book during like one of my most emotional times of the week. So like I was like a sobbing mess this last time that I read it. It was not fun. I mean, yesterday I finished 200 of the pages, I believe. So I was like, no! Oh my god! And then, like, that took longer to read because I couldn't see. It was a mess.
That sounds like when we read Kingdom of Ash. I can't read it. Alright, so without further ado, let's just get on into this long discussion. So right from the beginning of this book, we get to see Voldemort and some of the most important Death Eaters, and they're all in a meeting at the Malfoy Manor, and honestly, that looks like the worst meeting to ever be in. Like, ever. Like, you have Voldemort, and Yaxley, and Bellatrix, and Lucius, and no thanks. I wouldn't want to be there.
No. But I mean, apparently the Malfoys have peacocks. So that's fancy. I never noticed that before.
I didn't either.
I was reading and it's just like, the peacocks. And I was like, what the hell?
Like, why do you have peacocks?
I wonder if peacocks are anything like geese or ducks. Because like I used to have geese and ducks and they were like vicious little assholes.
I don't know. Maybe they want to make a new wand, like Peacock Core.
Peacock Core. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing.
So in this meeting, Voldemort asks the group if one of them would volunteer to give up their wand for him, and the book says something along the lines of everyone looked at him as if he had just asked them for their arm, which I totally get. Your wand is how you protect yourself, it's how you go through your daily life, etc. And in the end, he demands Lucius's wand, and obviously he's very reluctant to give it away. But he doesn't have a choice, so he does. And I just feel so bad for him and Draco and Narcissa because they're just getting punished over and over again. I mean, in the last book, Voldemort tried to get Draco to kill Dumbledore, which that's kind of a tough thing to put on a kid. I mean, just my opinion. But, you know, he ends up giving him his wand, even though he does not want to, and is clearly not comfortable with the situation at all. And
but here you go.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a choice, and and Charity Burbage, which I don't remember her character being mentioned specifically. Just her class. I remember her class, but I don't remember her.
I don't think she's mentioned as an individual teacher at any point. She's just like, I think Hermione takes Muggle studies or something.
Yeah, because I was like, I can't remember her. Like, I'm not emotionally attached to her, but the way that Voldemort taunts Snape and Draco by just killing her and all the questions he was asking and stuff, like, Snape's really close to him, and that was really, like, why the fuck does anyone follow you in the first place? Like, why is anyone here? Alright, and we finally get to see Harry again. And okay, I'm always disgusted by Harry's room, his trunk, that he hasn't cleaned out since the first year at Hogwarts, you know? Mm-hmm. But he's rummaging around in there, and he cuts his finger on the broken mirror that's just, out and about in his trunk. And he makes a comment about if only he could use magic, he could heal himself. But he'd never learnt anything about how to heal himself in school. Like, there's no magical education about healing yourself. And
cut your finger, bro.
Yeah.
Put a Band-Aid on it. You're fine.
I mean, he could do that, but why don't they learn, like, magical first aid? Because you could just heal that shit.
Do they teach that stuff to younger kids, though?
I mean, it doesn't seem like it, unless they learn it from home.
I mean, even for, like, actual schools. I don't think they teach that to younger kids either in school.
Yeah, which is sad. I mean, first aid's kind of, like, important. But you'd think in herbology and potions and charms, like, the combination, you'd kind of have a basic sort of, like, knowledge.
If you get a cut, use this spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. I also wonder what the 12 uses of dragon's blood are. Like, they must be intense uses, because I can't imagine that dragon's blood would be very easy to get in the first place, right? Like, I think he's talking about, like, a book of the 12 uses for dragon's blood or something. Yeah. But I'm trying to think of, like, what could dragon's blood be used for?
That's a good question.
Make you invincible? Does it, like, heal cuts on your hand? I don't know. Like, would this have helped Harry?
You're gonna get...
Should he have read it?
You get a cut on your finger, better go get some dragon's blood, then you lose your whole arm. Like, well, my cut's gone, it's fine.
Is dragon's blood, like, the main component in Essence of Dittany? I don't know.
Maybe that's how you get liquid luck. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, need to get some dragon's blood.
I don't know how liquid luck is made. Did that ever get...
I think there's, like, pieces of it in the, Oh, no, because they didn't even make it. They made Draught of Living Death.
Yeah, to win it. And we just know that it's hard to make. Ingredients. I'm Googling it.
Ingredients and liquid luck. How to make. I really wouldn't be surprised if there was a recipe, though.
Okay, this is not on an official site, so don't judge me if this is not right. But I'm getting on Quora.com. Ashwinder egg, a squib bulb, murtlap, a squill bulb.
Oh, squib. I heard squib. I'm like, what does that mean?
I may have said squib bulb. I don't know. A dash of tincture and thyme, and turn slowly. Akame eggshell.
Oh yeah, that's that big, like, worm thing that changes sizes in Fantastic Beasts.
Yikes.
Sounds intense. I could see it being hard.
Yeah. Well, no dragon's blood, so that's not it either.
Well, shit.
Well, shit. We'll never know. Maybe it'll get published someday on, like, Pottermore or something.
Maybe.
If it isn't already.
I if anybody knows the actual recipe or what 12 dragons' blood uses are for, let us know.
So, Dumbledore died in the last book. We all know that. But I cried when Harry was reading the piece in the paper by Dodge, and who knew a lot more about Dumbledore than Harry did.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so touching. Like, Dumbledore started caring for people really early, and having that followed by the interview with Rita Skeeter with her new book, being that, like, the next thing that he sees in the paper. I can see why he feels upset. Because it feels like he didn't know anything about his life on the good side when he was younger, nor did he know that Dumbledore was affiliating himself with dark magic, basically, and the pretty unsavory side
That's
of the
a
wizarding
lot
community.
to take in and learn about your, like, role model, I guess.
Yeah, who just passed away and you watch die. Like, it's rough, but it's all true. The light and dark history with Dumbledore coexists, and it is what it
I
is.
really wish that through that whole story, we could have seen more of, like, the Dumbledore and Ariana, or, well, I guess Albus and Ariana, since they're both Dumbledores, but, like, the whole backstory of, like, everything in the movies, too, because I don't think it really touches on that much in the movies, but it's just so intriguing to see Dumbledore's backstory.
It is. Like, we got to see a little bit at the end of the book about how she dies and everything,
And
but
we'll touch back on that later,
yeah,
but yeah.
Not much else.
But I did like the quote in this paper, a brother with a fondness for fiddling around with goats. What? What is Aberforth into? Like, I think his Patronus is a goat. He has the Hogshead, which I think has goats in it and stuff, but, like, what is he, what? He intrigues me. I would like a story about him, too.
Why do you like goats?
What is your affliction to these goats? So, in this book, the Dursleys end up leaving. And I really want to know, where did they end up going? Like, they're under Wizards' version protection of, like, the witness protection program or some crap. But, like, where would they have moved? Would they still be in the UK? Would they have been sent somewhere far away, like Canada? Like, are they the next street over? Obviously not, because they, like, were driving away and then disapparating. But are they making themselves a whole new life with, like, new names? I want to know where they went. What happened to them?
Right? Like, they don't get touched on at all afterwards. Just,
yeah, no.
Bye.
Like,
maybe
bye,
they went
guys.
to a lawn care convention in Hawaii or something.
Yeah.
Like, a very long lawn care convention.
Yeah.
Just bringing back old times.
Are they staying at that lighthouse that they went to that one time? I did enjoy the goodbye scene, though. It was actually really sweet. And it's the first time ever that Dudley is not an asshole.
Yeah, like, Vernon and Petunia were the same as expected. Petunia a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Vernon was a total douchebag, but I don't know. I'm always blown away when Dudley says that Harry isn't a waste of space, because I was shocked that Harry they just think I'm a waste of space. It's fine.
Like, and no, we don't. Oh.
Like, what? That's not the line of dialogue I anticipated.
No.
But I think it was nice that he ended off, like, becoming a better person in the end.
I also really would have liked to see the part, now that I think about it, would have liked to see the part where they, like, drove off and then were disapparated. Because, can you imagine Vernon? Like, what the bloody hell is going on?
Someone gets splinched.
Can we have this, like, as a deleted scene or, like, an additional scene written out, please? Because I would love to see it.
Maybe there's a fan fiction out there about it. And if not, maybe we need to change some things.
Well, I don't want to write it. I want to read about it. You can write it. I'll read it. There we go.
Okay.
All right. So after they leave, Harry's by himself and he's waiting for the others to arrive. And there's a quote from the book. He picked up Hedwig's cage. His firebolt and rucksack gave his unnaturally tidy room one last sweeping look. What? Like, seriously, 2 verses before that, or like a chapter before that, I can't even remember. Like, it just said that there was broken paper, or broken things and papers everywhere, strewn about the room. You call that unnaturally tidy? Like, did you clean before? Why is this unnaturally tidy?
I mean, for Harry, it would be clean.
He is a pig.
He is. I mean, the fact that he didn't clean out his trunk since his first year, and he now would have been his last year. Come on. And I bet his room's the same way. It probably hasn't been cleaned since he got it.
That's fair.
After this, everyone arrives to help take Harry to a safe house, and they're going to take Polyjuice Potion to confuse any Death Eaters that may be around. When the twins take the Polyjuice Potion, they're like, wow, we're identical.
I love that scene. I love it so much.
Yeah, they're the best.
I like it better. I like that scene better in the movie because it's just like way more hilarious the way that they do it. Like,
yeah.
Oh, so funny.
Okay. Hedwig dies in the beginning. Like, we know that. But it hurts me that she dies in her cage. Especially because earlier Harry was telling her how she'll finally be able to fly again soon and get out of the cage because she's been locked up all summer. And she never gets out of her cage when she dies.
I never realized this before. But, like, the whole part where they all have stuffed Hedwigs in the cage.
Yeah.
I didn't catch on to that before. But, oh, that was funny. I was like, that's such a genius idea.
It is. Okay, the fucking sidecar breaking off. How did Harry not just straight up piss himself? Because that would
It didn't say that he didn't.
It didn't say that he didn't. That is correct. And thank God that for first year charms lessons, like, he'd be dead.
Yeah. I'm surprised that he thought about it in that situation, you know?
Right. Potter
You're
omelet.
just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, how did that even come to mind? I loved how when the whole fight scene thing was going on, and Hagrid falls, and Harry's like, Accio, Hagrid! Like, did he really think that was gonna work? Like, I feel like that was a very dumb move. Just like, aha! Oh, shit, that didn't work.
Like, I get that you're desperate, but also thank God that no one can actually, like, Accio people.
Right? Can you imagine you're just standing there, and then all of a sudden you're like,
Like,
you're like soaring across the room because your husband, like, Accio'd you? Soaring across the country because
your best friend Accio'd you.
She's like, ah, shit, here we go. And then your husband Accio's you back, and you're just, like, halfway between each, going back and forth like a weird game of tug-of-war.
I have really messy hair and windburn.
Would you guys give it a rest?
Give me some aloe, man. And then, of course, Mad-Eye Moody dies too. Which is unfortunate.
It is.
But everyone has a drink for Mad-Eye Moody, so I figured I would have a drink for Mad-Eye Moody. Unfortunately, I don't have fire whiskey, but I have a cup of coffee and some water.
So the coffee, because it's stronger.
Yeah. Shall we have a drink to Mad-Eye Moody?
I only have water, but sure.
We're all about drinking stuff
Rest
on this
in
podcast.
peace, man.
Man.
My man. My main man.
Moody man. Mad-Eye man. Moody.
You.
Man. You.
While they're talking about the plans for what they're going to be doing, or while they're trying to talk because Molly's being insufferable and not letting them have a moment alone, Hermione says that she obliviated her parents, And that she says that she can undo the enchantment when it's all over. And I just kind of assumed that obliviating someone was kind of permanent for some reason. I didn't know you could undo it.
I did. I kind of had that opinion too, especially after the second book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that the memory charm backfires, but wouldn't Lockhart have been able to, someone be able to fix him or something?
I guess unless maybe if you cast the memory charm, you have to take it off. But since he wouldn't have known that he did it, I don't know.
I don't know. But the whole thing with Hermione's parents, like, kind of, it's really sad, and I can't imagine what she's going through. Like,
Right. They moved there. They moved to Australia without her.
yeah. Like, you get to see the world. Do whatever. And the
Why'd
whole...
she pick Australia? Just like first place she thought of. She opened up the like atlas and was like, Australia, there we go.
That's good. I don't know. And Ron's ghoul is, okay, it sounds crazy. Like,
It does.
it's so crazy, it's clever. And I don't know what Spattergrotus is, but I don't want to have that ever. I'm glad I will never have it.
Yeah, if it makes you look like a ghoul.
Yeah. I would be afraid if I could get those kinds of illnesses.
Right. And it's highly contagious, too.
So, I love the difference between Hermione in this book versus when we met her. Because at first she was so strict on rules, and now in this book we have her rationalizing stealing books from Dumbledore. And I
really
love
wouldn't
it.
mind.
You wouldn't mind. It's just borrowing. It's fine. Okay, and I was really shocked to see how nice Fleur's family was. I was really anticipating them to be really hoity-toity because of how Fleur acted in the last book, especially.
Yeah. I feel like Fleur is nice. She's always been pretty nice. She just snooty a little. I mean, she's part Vila.
She was part cunt in the last book.
Well,
like, was it the last book where she was making fun of Mrs.
the Christmas,
Weasley?
yeah.
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 Come on.
Yeah.
That we talked about how bitchy that was, and it was so bitchy.
It was quite bitchy.
It was rude. She got Phlegm as her nickname for a reason. So I really anticipated her family being potentially worse.
That's true. Okay. So, for his birthday, Ron gifts Harry a book. 12 Fail-Safe Ways to Charm Witches. Explains everything you need to know about girls. I've learned a lot. You'd be surprised. It's not all about wand work. What wand are you talking about, Ron? 'Cause...
I love that part.
Innuendos. I live for them. Oh, it's so fun. I laughed so hard at that.
I did too. So, Harry also gets a lot of other great gifts for his birthday. And Molly gives him this really sentimental watch, and she said it's traditional for all wizards to get watches for their 17th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering why that tradition started. Like,
so you can keep track of your own shit.
keep track of your own shit. Here's a watch. But he gets awesome gifts. Like, I'd love to get the enormous box of all the latest with Weasley Wizard Wheezes merchandise.
I like the moleskin thing that Hagrid gives too. Like a nice private bag that only you can reach into.
That thing is super useful.
Right? Uses it for the whole book.
Oh, and his birthday cake being in the shape of a snitch. I want that in my life. I would want to know what that looks like. I wish that was in the movie.
I'll make you one. I'll try.
We can make one together.
There we go. I'll make you little cake pops.
Yeah, we could do cake pops.
And then you can like zoom them around with the stick. Just like,
And I kind of like the scene with the Minister of Magic and Hermione when he's giving them their fucking inheritance from Dumbledore finally. And he asks her, "Are you planning to follow a career in magical law, Miss Granger?" And she replies with, "No, I'm not. I'm hoping to do some good in the world." Like boom.
Snap. Savage.
Right? She was afraid of getting expelled her first year, and here she is mouthing off the minister.
You know what? Constant drama and stuff like that changes a person, I would assume.
Yeah.
You can only almost die so many times before you just don't give a fuck anymore. You're like,
true.
I'm done with this shit. I love that at the wedding, Luna was able to recognize Harry, even though he's had Polyjuice Potion and was basically dressed up as like one of the twins, or not the twins, the Weasleys' like cousins, because they stole hair from a random redhead in the town. But I like that even though he's completely unrecognizable, she's just like, "Oh, hi, Harry." He's like, "Oh, like, hi."
Wasn't it just because of the way he was looking around? She
His
knew
aura or something. She's like, I could just tell.
Leave it to Luna.
So, during the wedding, I came across this line that I realized that Bill is usually short for William, but I didn't realize that it was in this case. So it was like, William Arthur Weasley, do you... And I was just like, well, shit. So, I always just assumed Bill was his actual name, but it's so weird. I kid you not, my little brother, who is a little ginger, like, redhead, one of the only ones in our family who's a redhead, his name is William Arthur. He's not a Weasley, but that is his name. And I was just like, this is so weird. And I told him about it afterwards, and he was just like, really? I'm like, yeah. But I was just like, William Arthur. And then after that, I couldn't stop seeing my brother as, like, Bill Weasley, because yeah.
That's fair. That's hilarious. Uncle Billy seems like a pretty interesting guy before he died. I love, was it Fred or George said he would down an entire bottle of fire whiskey and then run into the dance floor, hoisting up his robes and pulling bunches of flowers from a part that shall not be named.
Yeah, he sounds like the life of the party.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, he's unforgettable. I don't think you'll ever forget something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on page 167 in my book, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione deal with the Death Eaters coming after them in that little coffee shop, and they decide it's best to not kill them and just change their memory, Ron says that he's never done a memory charm, and Hermione replies with, "Nor have I, but I know the theory," and then obliviates Dolohov, and it's like she said she hasn't done it before, but she obliterated. Gosh dang it. I see why she
Right?
obliviated her parents already. Like, I'm really confused.
I had this exact same, like, almost word for word. Like, both of our
Yeah.
points are, like, almost word for word, except mine has the term, excuse me? Like, yeah, on page 84, it clearly states that she modified her parents' memory before leaving. That's, my friend, is a memory freaking charm. Like,
Yeah. You don't just know the theory. You have practiced
done
it.
you have done it. It's like she forgot, like, only a couple chapters later what she wrote. So surprising. So
It
weird.
is. And it's surprising that no one
Has caught that.
caught it.
So, number 12 was visible to them. This was after they fled the wedding and fled the diner and ended up going back to Grimmauld. Number 12 was visible to them, for they had been told of its existence by Dumbledore, its secret keeper. I assumed that after a secret keeper died, it broke the charm until it was, like, re-secreted or something. But apparently, like, later on, I guess that we find out that they are now the secret keepers. So, with that, like, that's not really very secret anymore, because if everybody who knew about the secret becomes secret keepers when the secret keeper dies, that means that there's at least, like, 40 secret keepers now. So legit anyone can go to Grimmauld Place. Like, Mundungus would technically be able to be handing out, like, the address constantly.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe it can't be in the will.
It's just confusing. No, because then they'd be like, oh, you were left. Wait, what?
Wait, what the fuck is this? Okay, the scene with Harry and his mother's letter to Sirius breaks my heart. Like, that was just so hard to read. But it was also kind of hilarious. Just because, I mean, we have this whole goat thing now. Like, our goat jokes. But he only has the first page of the letter, and it ends off with, "It seems incredible that Dumbledore," and then cuts off, and he sarcastically thinks, "has taken up goat charming like Aberforth." Like, there's so many goats. And I never realized how many goat references there were. Like, I forgot all about it.
Right, until you're reading it this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So goats.
I felt the same. I felt the same as I'm going through. I'm just like, holy crap, guys. Like, why are you so obsessed?
So, of course, the only logical thing to do in their scenario is to break into the Ministry of Magic. But I fucking love in the beginning when everyone's standing around waiting to go through the restroom to get to work, and everyone's bitching about how terrible it is that they have to do this. And there's a ministry worker complaining, saying, "Who are they expecting to turn up? Harry Potter?"
As Harry Potter. Beside them.
Yeah, listening to them talk about this. It's like, the irony.
Okay, so I never noticed this fact before, and I know it's, like, completely different in the movies, but Harry is Albert Runcorn, or something, I think that's what he is, and he's never seen this dude before in his life, but one line says, "He shouted out with the deep voice of Albert." And, like, in all the previous movies, and even these ones, I'm pretty sure, as far as I can remember, I haven't watched them yet, it has them using their own voices when they use Polyjuice Potion. So I was confused for that. Like, it makes more sense that you would get the person's voice. Mm-hmm. But yet, when Barty Crouch Jr. is Moody Not Moody, he has Moody's voice. So either he does, like, an insanely amazing impression of him, or the Polyjuice Potion works for him, or they didn't think that through clearly.
Maybe you have to make it a certain way.
I feel like Hermione would know how to make it.
I would feel like that too, but yeah, I don't know.
Was it just like to try for us to realize and grasp who was who in the movie because people are dumb? Or like what was the intent behind that?
I don't know.
So weird.
So at this point, the Ministry is holding trials for witches and wizards that are Muggle-born, and basically, unless you can name someone in your family who is a witch or a wizard before you, you were sent to Azkaban. Fun. Like, I'm honestly surprised that not more people ran off to just disappear for a while, because obviously you're not going to make it through this, and it puts your family in jeopardy. Alright, so the first few months of their journey trying to find Horcruxes is really rough. It's kind of annoying, the little parts where they're just kind of going place to place and they're not really sure what to do. But a lot of it's because Ron acts like a complete and total asshole the entire time. And, you know, they're just kind of giving Harry a hard time about not knowing what he's supposed to do. And in turn, that's made him be pissed at Dumbledore. And then he's also pissed at himself because he didn't ask more specific things. And it's just a big kind of shit pot for everyone. Everyone's super emotional. Timing is just kind of fleeting. It sucks, though.
It does. Nobody's in a good place.
Yeah. But, I mean, it kind of reminded me of Harry back in Order of the Phoenix with the bitchiness overall.
Of, like, nobody telling him stuff. And...
Yeah. I mean, granted, it must be hard being a Horcrux, wearing a Horcrux, hunting for Horcruxes. Like, what a life.
I imagine.
So I love the scene when they're just kind of sitting around and then they can overhear other people in the forest with them, and it turns out that it's Dean, Griphook, and a few others I can't remember right now. Griphook's revenge is super amazing. I love that he decided to just not tell the Death Eaters that it was a fake sword that they were putting into Bellatrix's vault. And this is just another one of those scenes that kind of shows how Voldemort and his followers really underestimate people that they deem as lower status than them, including like house elves and goblins, and it really fucks them over time and time again. So they have the portrait of Phineas Nigellus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
Right. But how useful would it have been if they'd had a portrait of Dumbledore? Like, that would have been a nice thing to leave behind, like a little pocket-sized one.
Like, hey, what should we do? Yeah, pocket-sized one. Just a little one.
Yeah, pocket Dumbledore.
Pull your pocket Dumbledore out and be like, hey.
Hold on. All right. The whole scene with Nagini as Bagshot was super creepy. Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
It's one of the most uncomfortable scenes in, like, the entire series for me. Like, even in the movie, I'm always like, ugh.
Yeah, because at first, you know, she's just this little old lady that we think is probably a little crazy, and she just
like, comes
silent.
out of the neck and, like, ugh.
Yeah, after you just followed her upstairs and...
Like a stupid ass.
Yeah, I mean, they were desperate.
True. But while we're there, Hermione snatches up the Rita Skeeter's completed edition of The Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore. And I would like to know, can we have this book published, please? Like, even if it's written by Rita Skeeter and possibly has, like, a bunch of bullshit in it, I would totally still read Albus's life story.
Yes. Like, I want to know everything.
Can this happen?
About Dumbledore.
Okay. Another weird thought that I had. This one just popped into my head while I was reading, and I don't even really know why. I think they were talking about how the Sword of Gryffindor is impregnated with basilisk venom. So does that mean that if you were, like, using it, and you, like, accidentally cut yourself, because, like, I think later on Hermione's, like, polishing it just to have something to do, and you, like, accidentally cut yourself on the blade, does that mean you'd, like, die instantly? Like, unless you had Phoenix Tears? Like, can you not even cut yourself with it?
It's a really good question. Like...
Because basilisk venom is, like, highly toxic, highly poison. And the only thing that saved Harry was the Phoenix.
But Dumbledore's down,
so if you, like, nicked yourself and that got into, like, your bloodstream, would you, like, die?
I don't know.
Is this all of a sudden a very dangerous sword to hold?
Don't shave yourself with it. And there's no... Okay, why the fuck is Hermione cleaning it off anyway? It doesn't get dirty.
I think it said that she just, even though it doesn't get dirty, she wanted something to do, so she's polishing it later on.
Risking her life.
And I think it actually specifically does say, like, even though it doesn't need to be cleaned, she was polishing it pointlessly or something like that in the book. But, how kick-ass would it be to be able to have the extendable charm on your purse? Because, like, don't get me wrong, I feel like sometimes my bag already has one because it fits a lot of shit, and I can never find things in it anyways. But then at least if I was able to do that, then I'd obviously have a wand, so I'd be able to just do, like, Accio shit out of it, like Harry does with the Dittany and the tent. But seriously, to have, like, a whole library and a whole wardrobe in my purse would be so much fun. Just be like, oh, hold on, let me pull that out of my purse.
And it would make moving easy.
Just throw everything in the purse. Your fridge, your stove, your couch.
Alright, so the Sword of Gryffindor, when they finally find it and Harry sees it at the bottom of this lake, you know he's just fucking cussing at himself for being in Gryffindor in the first place when he hears that little voice in his head saying, Their daring, nerve, and chivalry set the Gryffindors apart. Like, that's probably not a fun phrase now.
No.
Trying to dip into a freezing lake. And I honestly don't understand why Harry doesn't go to grab Hermione. Like, you are about to plunge into freezing water. You have a Horcrux around your neck.
Yeah.
You just might want to have someone there. Granted,
Maybe
Ron
he,
saves him,
didn't want to go away in case the sword disappeared.
Like, that's my thought, too, but, like, what if you died?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, you're kind of super important. You can't just throw yourself away like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, at least he gets saved by Ron, because otherwise he would have died. It is a good thing that Ron left, in a way, because he got to see what was happening in the wizarding world. Because they had no idea what was going on. But can you imagine if he hadn't, and they didn't know that if they'd continued to use Voldemort's name, it would get rid of all their protective enchantments and they'd be screwed? Granted, they messed that up later, thanks Harry, but imagine how much earlier it could have happened. Or how many times or something. Crazy.
Yeah, because that's obviously what happened at the diner, too. His name was already tabooed. But... Okay, so they end up going to the Lovegood's house to talk about the symbol of the Deathly Hallows. And while they're there, I can never remember his name, like Xenophilus Lovegood. He serves them Gertie root infusion. And the description, the stuff was quite disgusting, as though someone had liquidized bogey-flavored every flavor beans. And, like, when I read this, I legit actually gagged at this point in the book, because I kid you not, I don't know if you've ever done the Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Bean or Bean Boozled challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've done it, like, 5 times with multiple people, and instantly the taste popped back into my mouth, and I just couldn't deal with it, and I was, like, gagging. It was bad.
Yeah, I have played it a few times, but the worst one, in my opinion, is the rotten egg one.
Yeah, that one just kind of
engulfs all of your senses.
Yeah,
and that's
that one
all
can
you
also come to my mind and like make me gag when I think about it.
Yeah,
right now I can taste it
and smell it. It was that one. I remember as soon as I bit into it, it was like the smell would not go away. The taste, it didn't matter what I ate or drank. It was there
for like a day.
Yeah, I never want to play that
brush
game
your
again.
teeth. Could eat all of the toothpaste ones. Yeah. I actually really like those ones.
Yeah, those ones are pretty decent. And what is the opposing one that looks like, or maybe toothpaste is the shitty one? Isn't there a baby wipe one?
Popcorn. Oh, I like the baby wipe one. Compared to the egg.
Anything compared to the egg.
Bogey.
I
also don't like the stinky socks. I don't like the dog food. That one, I'm okay with like grass. Grass is really good.
Grass is pretty good. But yeah. Ugh. The rotten egg. But I feel so bad for Luna's dad. I mean, he was trying so hard to stay on the good side of things and was publishing things that left him very vulnerable. And he lost the one person that matters the most to him, and he's so desperate to get her back, and it's really hard to be pissed at him for turning him in. You know? That would be so difficult. And I forgot all about the Potter Watch station. Like, it's one of those things I just never remember, and I got super excited about it, because I'm like, oh yeah!
Oh yeah! It would suck so hard if, like, you missed the password. Like, obviously, Ron missed one of those days, right? It would suck so much if you missed it and you couldn't get the password. Luckily, he does one day because he's just, like, sitting there tapping at it. But that's such a fun station.
Yeah, it is.
Fun for them to see or hear from other people.
When, was it Fred arguing about his name?
Rapier. I don't want to be rodent.
So now we're back to Voldemort's name, right after they watched this, or listened to this. And
like, legit right after.
Yep. Harry says Voldemort's name. Like, come on. How could you forget that? After all the close calls you have had up till this point.
That's what you get for being so comfortable saying it, though, I guess.
True. But stupid. And when they're at the Malfoy Manor, I feel really bad for Ron when he can hear Hermione screaming with Bellatrix torturing her with the Cruciatus Curse.
Yeah, he really loses his shit there.
I can't imagine hearing that with anyone that I care about. It'd be extremely difficult. And I wish this scene was in the movie, but when Wormtail backs off from killing Harry before killing himself, or, well, his hand killing him.
Yeah.
But, God, Ron and Harry are such good people to try to help someone who literally just tried to kill him and helped Voldemort come back and all this shit. And this is what Wormtail gets.
No! Oh, shit.
Yeah. Like, what did you expect from getting gifted something from Voldemort? Like, it's gotta have a drawback.
Mm-hmm. You'd think.
Is that hand really your hand? Not really. And I forgot that Hermione had the chandelier drop on her.
Directly, yeah, because like, Ron had to get her out from underneath it. Ouch.
Right?
Because I imagine that wouldn't be a very small chandelier. I'm imagining, like, huge.
Yeah. And Dobby dying. I can't stand Dobby dying at all.
It's a painful part of it.
Like,
to me, it's not as bad as, like, Fred dying, but it's up there.
It's very much up there. Like, Dobby is kind of like the dog dying, where it's like, your soul is too good to be here in this world, and you are too good to deserve this.
Yeah.
Like, hurts my heart.
So after that, Harry and Ron are worried about everybody else, and Bill says that they've placed Auntie Muriel's and Shell Cottage under the Fidelius charm. Dad's secret keeper at Muriel's, and I'm secret keeper here. But then, how the fuck would Ron have been able to share that information of where to go? He's like, Shell Cottage, Ron, like, it's Bill and Fleur's house. How would you have been able to do that then? You couldn't tell them where to go. You're not a secret keeper, man. Unless you had a paper with, like, from Bill of where they were, which would be highly stupid, obviously.
Yeah.
Unless Ron was also made secret keeper. But I doubt it.
I would also doubt it.
So, that was just, if anything, he could be like, bring us to
this
here. Lagoon. And then, like, if we just go over this thing, I can get Bill, you know? But whatever, that's beside the point. So a little while after that, while they're figuring out, or while Harry had just seen Dumbledore, or not Dumbledore, Voldemort go back to, like, get the wand from Dumbledore or something. Dumbledore's glasses are on in his tomb, and I just find that weird. Why would he be wearing his glasses?
To see into the afterlife.
It's just so weird. Like, why?
I mean, he might as well be buried with them. They fucking survived that long fall. So those are some pretty important glasses that apparently really wanted to stay with him.
I want to try to pay attention in the movie, because I know he didn't have his glasses in the movie when he fell from the tower. So, like, did they go to his office, find his glasses?
He's wearing his contacts.
I want to pay attention in the movie to see if he's wearing them.
So back to Shell Cottage. I cannot imagine being in that cottage with so many freaking people. I can't imagine how cramped it is. Like, I'm sure that the Weasleys are used to having a lot of people in one space. But wow, that would just be very claustrophobic. Ugh. I couldn't do it. That's just too many people. And Flora's way more likable in this book than she has been in the last couple of books. I begin to like her again, because Goblet of Fire with her was not horrible, but the last book, I couldn't stand her anymore. The way that Bill describes goblins...
When he's talking to Harry?
Yes, because...
Yeah.
Of course, Bill doesn't know that Harry's already made the deal with Grip Hook, but it sounds absolutely draining and intimidating to work around them every day.
It does.
Nah.
It's just like, and then you can't do this, and then they'll do this. And it's like, oh my god.
And this means this. And, yeah. Though Ollivander sounds like he would be a very interesting person to talk to. Probably more so had he not just been tortured for multiple months, but, you know.
Well, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do? But Wanler sounds super fascinating, and I wonder why they don't have a class about that at Hogwarts for older students. What if
it seems like super confusing. It's probably more college level stuff, if there is a wizarding college, I assume.
So when they finally make up their mind that they're gonna break into Gringotts, fun stuff. But I love when Ron changes and Harry says, well, he's not my type, but he'll do. I don't know why I love that part so much. And
I laughed.
Yeah.
It was funny.
And I can't imagine trying to be someone like Bellatrix. Because initially it doesn't seem like that difficult, but the only encounters that you have with someone like her is just her trying to kill you, curse you, you know, just the friendly gestures like that. But, I wouldn't know what to say if someone said hey to me on the streets, especially if it's someone I'm not supposed to fucking loathe. How do you reply to that? Do you curse them in response? Do you say hey? Can you imagine Bellatrix saying, hey, how are you?
What's up? Well, no, because Hermione's like, good morning, and it's like, no, too nice.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Do you say, bad morning? What do you do?
What do you want?
Yeah.
That's probably a good one.
But it's hard to imagine her in a different scenario.
Yeah.
When they break into Gringotts and they tell the Death Eater that came in with them to just go hide after they use the Imperious Curse on him, he just decides to hide in a crack in the wall. And it's fucking horrifying that there are cracks in the wall big enough to hide a person. How... I can't imagine cramming myself into a wall of any building.
But Gringotts less so. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I just kind of, in my head imagined him, running off around a corner or something. I don't...
Yeah, it's I'm just gonna put myself in this crack. Okay.
Here's a good spot.
So, they escape via dragon, that's pretty cool. I feel so bad for that dragon. It hurts my heart to think of him down there. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I am astounded at how calm and collected they are while hanging on to this dragon for dear life so they don't fall to their deaths. They're like, yeah, casual conversation while we just tingle here.
Considering how in, Order of the Phoenix, the Thestrals, they were all freaking out.
Mm-hmm. And now they're on a dragon that hasn't flown in a long time that could possibly eat them.
For a while, I was like, cool. Why don't they just, apparate off of it? But then I'm like, I guess if they're touching the dragon, that wouldn't really work. Because then they just apparate a whole dragon with them.
And he'd be pissed. Or she.
Right.
I'm not sure.
I don't think it's ever specified.
But Ron's sarcasm when they finally get off of the dragon and have some downtime, I suppose. Well, I don't know how to break this to you, but I think they might have noticed we broke into Gringotts. They might have noticed. And can you imagine how much longer it would have taken them to get all the Horcruxes if they'd gotten them at all, if Harry wasn't able to look into Voldemort's mind? Because I don't think they would have left Gringotts and then automatically went to Hogwarts like they did.
No.
Had he not had that vision at that point, Voldemort probably would have moved them.
Yeah.
Yay for Harry being a Horcrux.
So, although the caterwauling charm was horrible for them when they decided to go to Hogwarts and they apparated into Hogsmeade, for their purposes, it sucked. But how cool would it be to, like, have a curfew alarm as, like, a parent for, like, teenagers? Like, I'd be down to have that. Although, to be honest, I probably would have hated it when I was a teenager. I would have probably found a way around it, though. I was, like, that kind of teenager that, like, I can solve this problem. That's easy.
I'm resourceful. Sure you're not in Slytherin? Kidding.
But I just thought that would be such a fun, like, put it outside their windows. Just set this alarm here. I don't know if it's ever said, because when we get there, we get saved by, like, Aberforth, and he goes into the whole Dumbledore Ariana story. My dog just decided to shake, and that was really loud. But Ariana, she was picked on because she wasn't a squib. She was picked on, and then she contained her magic. Does that make her essentially like an obscurial?
Like,
is that essentially what that is?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, obviously, I hadn't watched, like, Fantastic Beasts wasn't really a thing the last time I reread this, but they keep talking about it bursting out of her.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happens in Fantastic Beasts. Like, it just kind of bursts out whenever he's in a mood or he's agitated, right?
Yeah. So I'm assuming it'd be the same, because that's why he bursts out, because trying to hold the magic in, and that's what she was doing. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if we're going to learn more while the movies come out. Yeah.
Like, is Dumbledore going to be like, well, my sister, you know?
Yeah, are we going to have some, like, flashbacks of Dumbledore's life as we go on?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I hope so. But I love how kick-butt Neville's grown up to be in the books, and we all know that I love Neville. He's just so much. But he's been tortured by the Carrows, and he's just like, meh, oh, these scars? Pff, they're nothing. Like, he's basically the new leader of the Dumbledore's army since Luna and Ginny are both gone. He takes charge, and he's helping to protect all these students, and he's just being an overall badass. Like, he figured out how to properly work the Room of Requirement on his own, and, like, how it works. He solved the problem of how to get around the loopholes and has basically made it, like, impenetrable, so that the Carrows can't come in and, like, Snape can't come in. And I mean, like, crap, even his grandma's proud of him, and that is, like, a big thing that he's excited that he's made his grandma proud, even though she's on the run now because of his antics. I just love it.
Oh, I'm so glad we get to see Neville again. Mm-hmm. You know, he's like a new person.
Yeah, you know, he's not the Neville we grew up with.
No. But I'm so glad that his grandmother is finally nice to him. I mean, she's gotten nicer with each book, but...
She has.
Oh my gosh. But it is hilarious to think about her on the run. Like, imagine her little hats and her purse and stuff. Like, if she's still running around with that.
Probably. And then afterwards they're like, okay, we need to find a Horcrux. Well, they don't say it's a Horcrux, but they're like, we need to find something of Ravenclaw's. And then Cho's like, I can show you what the diadem looks like. And then Ginny's like, no! Loon again! I was just like, same. Like, you...
Right?
I get it, Ginny.
Though, do you think Ginny would have been that concerned if she had known how bad the date was?
Probably not. Like, that was... But at the same time, Cho knew how bad the date was, yet she was still kind of, like, flirting with Harry there. And then afterwards, we finally get to see the Ravenclaw's common room, and it's like a dream. Like, vaulted ceilings with stars painted, and, like, bookshelves everywhere, and big cozy chairs, and I want to go so bad. It's just like a dream room. But they see the diadem. He has more visions, and, like, the Carrows are there, and things happen, and one gets stunned, and then McGonagall comes, and I think she stuns the other one, or someone stuns the other one. And then Harry just, like, pops out from under the invisibility cloak and, like, gives McGonagall a freaking heart attack, I swear. Like, why don't you, like, yeah, why don't you just kill the poor old lady? Like, her heart can't handle this. Do not pop out. Shit, Harry.
Plot twist. McGonagall actually has a heart attack,
like,
and that's
fuck.
it.
I don't blame her, because, like, someone just pops out. Like, no, don't do that. Make yourself known.
He hasn't learned that all of these years. He doesn't...
Like,
hey!
At the same time, people should start learning that Harry can just, like, show up randomly. Like, shouldn't be too surprised. But I love when Harry is like, Voldemort's on his way! And Luna's like, oh, are we allowed to say the name now? Love it. But I wish that, because right after that, like, they end up running down the hall, and, like, he tells McGonagall that Voldemort's coming, and without even really questioning anything, she's just like, okie dokie, and, like, let's get going then. And they're running down the halls, and Snape is there. And I wish it would have been this way in the movie, because the movie, I think they're just in the Great Hall, and it's, like, all of them. But the scene starts with, like, McGonagall and Snape fighting, and then other ones come in, and then Snape ends up fleeing. But I just love how badass McGonagall is when she, like, starts this fight. Like, fuck you.
I know.
And then right after that, Filch comes, like, running. Students out of bed! Students in the corridor! And it's like, who are you even talking to? Like, are you talking to McGonagall? Because if so, she's, like, right there. She fucking sees them. She's with the damn students, you fucking idiot. I think she calls him a blithering idiot, but, like, he's just so dumb.
He is.
And then they go back to the room where they find more people have shown up, and Harry's just like, what the fuck is everybody doing here? Why are you all here? And then Percy comes in, and it's just like, go away. Fuck off, Percy. Nobody wants you. And he's like, I contacted Aberforth, and it's like, why? Why were you talking to Aberforth? How do so many people know to contact Aberforth?
The goats.
Percy's like, I need my goat needs fulfilled, so I'm gonna contact. And then he's like, oh, we're kind of busy right now. We're in the middle of a battle with Voldemort. He's like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Like, how did that all go? But then, whatever, they all decide to go their ways and solve this issue. And then Hagrid, while Harry's running down one of the hallways, Hagrid just gets thrown in through one of the windows, and I laughed so hard, because it's just like, all of a sudden he, like, gets thrown in, and he brought Fang, which I was really worried for a while that Fang was there. I was like, why the hell would you bring Fang? Especially when he starts chasing Fang down the halls, because Fang is, like, scared. Happy that later he's in Hagrid's hut, so that's good, but it was just like, I laughed so hard when it's like, well, I told him to bring me to the castle, but this isn't exactly what I meant. But good job, Guap.
Right? Close enough.
You got me to the castle. So Harry is running around trying to find this Horcrux, while also simultaneously trying to find Ron and Hermione because they've gone missing. Something about a bathroom. But they end up all, like, meeting up and talking, and they tell him how they killed the Horcrux in the cup. And then they're about to go do all their things, and if Hermione didn't love Ron before, she sure as hell would now, because Ron goes, "Hang on a moment," Ron said sharply. "We've forgotten someone." "Who?" asked Hermione. "The house elves. They'll be down in the kitchens, won't they?" "You mean we ought to get them fighting?" asked Harry. "No," said Ron seriously. "I mean, we should tell them to get out. We don't want any more Dobbies, do we? We can't order them to die for us." There was a clatter as the basilisk fangs cascaded out of Hermione's arms. Running at Ron, she flung them around his neck and kissed him full on the mouth. She's just like, yeah. Like, yes, this is the man. And it just shows such a change of Ron's character, too, because, like, what, in book 3 or 4 when she had spew, he was just like, go away.
Yeah, like he was trying to just
Nobody
ignore
cared.
it.
And then it comes. Why? Why couldn't it be Percy instead? Like, poor Fred. It would have still been a Weasley. It would have counted instead of us having to cry all the tears. But, like, I think that Percy should have went instead because, seriously, he just came back. He reconciled. He could have died saving Fred or something. And then him being, like, a total douche nugget for the entire series would have all been forgiven. And we would have been like, oh, but he died for Fred. It would have been worth it. It would have been a redemption story. He wouldn't have been the most hated, well, he would still be the most hated Weasley, but, like, he would have redeemed himself. Like, seriously, it should have been that way. But no.
I hate Fred's death, and I think what hurts me more is thinking about life after all of this, and George going back to work into their business that they created together alone. Like, they've done everything together.
Mm-hmm. That's so sad.
It is.
So then they end up figuring out where Voldemort is, and they're heading out to go, like, try to get to the snake, or I don't even really know what they were thinking of running to the Shrieking Shack, but they go. And when they get to the Whomping Willow, Ron says, if only we had Crookshanks again. And that had me wondering, like, wait, where is Crookshanks? Like, is he at Auntie Muriel's with the rest of the Weasleys? Or I guess not now, but, like, did she send him to Australia with her parents? Is he in her beaded bag? Did he die of old age? Like, where is he?
I never thought about this.
He just kind of disappeared.
Poor Crookshanks. I hope he didn't just get left at Hogwarts or just left somewhere like, bye. The world is your litter box. Go.
Bye. Because, like, yes, I get that she couldn't take him with them on this journey, but, like, where did he go then? So then I never realized, I mean, I obviously know how cocky Voldemort can be, but this just really threw me off. Like, he obviously thinks he's the best wizard, but when Snape tells him that he's performed extraordinary magic with the Elder Wand, and Voldemort goes, I have performed my usual magic. I am extraordinary, but this wand, no. It's just like, okay, take it down a notch, bro. Like, yes, you're extraordinary. We got it. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we were able to get Snape's memories out of this so that, like, Harry could see the whole story and, like, get the full feels of the Snape Lily and the Snape taking care of him and stuff like that. But the whole death of Snape was just so brutal compared to Voldemort's usual killing style. Because, like, usually he'll just Avada Kedavra that bitch and then they'd be dead. But this one, he, like, wanted Snape to suffer for some reason, which is, like, odd considering that, like, he's one of Voldemort's best at this point.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you just, like, end it and be done with it? Sending Nagini isn't really, and even then, you're trying to win the wand. Why would you make the snake kill him?
I mean, the snake is technically still part of him.
But I guess if the only wand you have is the Elder Wand and you think that it's loyal to Snape, you can't really use the Elder Wand either. Because I don't think you can use a wand on its own master. I don't know.
I don't know. That was really brutal. Like, Snape's death hurts me a lot. And there's just blood and memories leaking from every orifice. But I know that he was, like, such a horrible person to Harry to his face a lot. And honestly, it's understandable why he was that way in certain ways. Like, he gets hated on a lot for how he treats Harry in these previous books.
Mm-hmm.
But do you really think that any Death Eater of Voldemort would believe that Snape was really on their side if he outwardly accepted Harry instead of treating him like shit? Because, I mean, you have Draco, you have all these other kids that could testify how he treats Harry in classes.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's that he's super accepting and nice to him...
That's true.
But if he's a total dick, it's more believable.
We also get, like, that he looks like
He looks like
James,
James but has Lily's eyes, but...
Yeah, we get that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had to bring it up because isn't this the first book that it hasn't come up?
It hasn't come up yet, or at all.
At all, it didn't come up, so I had to bring it up.
There we go.
But that chapter kills me
Yeah.
so much. Always.
I didn't remember this part. I feel like I skipped over it a lot, but I didn't realize that Harry wakes up naked in King's Cross. Why naked? Like, I get that he like, thinks of robes and robes appear, so it's no big deal, but at the same time, like, he's just naked.
How uncomfortable. What if Dumbledore had already shown up? Like, he got there early or something.
Like, oh, you want to put on some clothes?
I'm so glad that we get to see Dumbledore again, though, even if it's super brief.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the combination between Snape's memories and then finally talking to Dumbledore, because Harry's been pissed at Dumbledore this whole book, and Snape's memories didn't totally help that.
Mm-hmm.
But it really helped his anger towards him dissipate once he got to have a little bit more knowledge, and hearing someone like Dumbledore admitting that he's made mistakes is really humbling.
It is. So out of that scene, we get, like, one of my top favorite quotes, and probably a lot of people's top favorite quotes from the whole series, which is, "Of course it is happening inside your head, Harry, but why on earth should that mean that it's not real?" And I just love that quote so much, because it's, like, so true. It resonates for, like, a lot of levels, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. It really does.
But then afterwards, Harry's dead. Well, Narcissa says that Harry's dead. And they end up going back, and Neville makes his stand, and then Voldemort calls the Sorting Hat for some reason and says that there's not going to be any more sorting, and it's only going to be Slytherin from now on, and puts the Sorting Hat on Neville and lights it on fire. And it's like, what the hell, Voldemort? Right? What the hell? Like, what did the Sorting Hat do to you?
I freaked out at that scene, and I forgot all about it.
Why?
But, like, what are they going to do now? Because obviously not everyone's going to be in Slytherin now that Voldemort is dead.
Yeah.
But what happens to the Sorting Hat? Is it a new Sorting Hat? Is it the same Sorting Hat in a new hat?
I
We
don't
just
know.
put it out. Just tamp it.
And then that also had me wondering, because, like, Griphook ended up taking the sword as his payment, if you will, for helping Harry get to the vault. I want to know, like, what was Griphook's reaction when, like, the sword disappears?
Like, he should just know. It just shows up for any worthy Gryffindor. Like,
yeah, you obviously weren't going to hold on to it very long.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a good deal, dude.
And then Harry jumps up, shit starts happening, I don't know, chaos ensues, and then there's battles between Voldemort and a bunch of people, and Bellatrix, and Luna, Ginny, and Hermione, I think. I can't remember who it was all between, but Bellatrix shoots a killing curse at Ginny, and Ginny misses it by, like, an inch. And the most amazing quote, well, one of them, which is, like, one of my favorites, "Not my daughter, you bitch." I love it so much. I get it. I get the mama bear instinct, and, like, you shouldn't fuck with that type of mom. So I just love that Mrs. Weasley, like, went all savage. Oh, it was so funny. And also so, like, heartwarming, because, like, you know she's a good mom, but you, like, really get that, like, she'd do anything for them. And at that point, I think she already lost Fred, so don't fuck with her.
Yeah. She's not losing any more kids today.
No. But then things happen, and Voldemort and Harry go at it, and Harry predictably, obviously, wins. And they go up to the headmaster's office, and they talk to Dumbledore in his frame and tells him that the resurrection stone is in the forest and he doesn't know where it is. He's not going back for it. But then he says he's putting the wand back where it came from. And I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean he's going to open Dumbledore's tomb and put it back in there? Or he's going to, like, give it back to Death? Or, like, give it to one of the Provels. Like, what's your plan here, Harry? Like, in the movie, I think he snaps it and throws it in the lake, which makes more sense. Like, just get it out of the way, opposed to, like, putting it somewhere where someone could potentially grab it.
But if he does store it in Dumbledore's grave, I feel like Dumbledore should have a far better protected gravesite now that Voldemort's dead, because there's no longer this big plan
Yeah.
for the Elder Wand and all this other stuff. Like, make it harder to get to you.
Yeah.
You're kind of a big deal, and that was way too easy.
So at the end of this book, as we all know, there's the 19 years later scene, which is like the first scene in The Cursed Child. But we'll get to that later. But in this, I specifically remember that in the movie, they have a ferret in the cage. I remember that because I've Googled if you can bring ferrets to Hogwarts, because it's not on the approved list on the 12-year-old list. But yeah, in here they have 2 cats and an owl, which is like, okay, but where's the ferret?
Where's the ferret?
And then another thing, in this 19 years later, out of Harry's 3 kids, Albus alone had inherited Lily's eyes. Mm-hmm.
There it is.
There it is. But I wonder if anyone ever mentioned to Albus, like Neville or McGonagall or someone, like, your eyes. You have your father's eyes.
Every single year.
Like, if I was Harry, I'd be like, hey, can you guys mention that his eyes look like mine? Like, every chance you get.
Every time.
Every time you see him. Just throw that out there. Annoy the crap out of him.
It's sad that that's the end of the book. But, random questions. Random questions. I wonder what the Sorting Hat song was like this year, if there even was one. Because obviously they had to have a sorting ceremony when the students
just like,
came.
Voldemort's back. Y'all gonna die.
Y'all gonna die.
I warned you guys years ago, and it didn't fly. Yeah, I wonder. Obviously, we don't get to see it, because we're not at Hogwarts this year.
Right.
But another random question. When people are all charging in and shit, or no, Harry goes back. Harry goes back, and he sees that Tonks and Ginny are there with Neville's grandma in the room of requirement when he tells them all to get the fuck out so that he can look through the room of requirement. Neville's grandma's there, and she's like, where's my grandson? And then he's like, I don't know, fighting. And then she, like, charges out. I want to know, what happened to Neville's grandma? Like, did she survive? Was she okay?
I'd assume so. She sounds like a tough old bitch.
Right? She just, like, starts whacking people with her handbag. Like,
I'd like to imagine that she survives. She starts her own hat company. She appreciates Neville and fucking gets him something other than a toad.
But I want to know, like is she
owl.
alive? I guess I could have tried to Google it, but I was like, I was very concerned with her well-being for a minute.
Right?
Okay, and then my last question, which has been a question, actually, for quite a while now, but I've just been kind of holding off in case it was mentioned at any point. What happened to Fluffy? Like, we never see her again after book 1 when she's guarding the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone, whatever version you have. We never see her again. And, like, why? Where did she go? I realized, like, Norbert was shipped away, so we don't see him. We see Fang often. Aragog we saw a couple times, but Fluffy, never again.
Forgotten. Maybe that's where Crookshanks went.
No, because, maybe. They ran away together. At first I was like, well, maybe she got killed, like, while people were coming in, but it was Quirrell, and then Harry, and then Dumbledore, so I doubt Dumbledore would have just came in and, like, killed her.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I don't know. Another person will have to Google, see if they're alive.
Whatever happened to Fluffy?
All right, so that was all we had for today's episode. And gosh, I'm sad that this is the last actual Harry Potter book. Like, just take me back to Hogwarts already.
It's been quite a ride though. Like, it's been a lot of episodes and like hours and hours of reading and podcasting, and
yeah, it has.
And we're not done yet. We still have the movies, which will be coming out soon too on the podcast. So it's not goodbye yet.
It's not goodbye yet, but goodbye to the actual first series that got us into it.
Yeah.
But what parts of the Deathly Hallows stand out to you? Let us know in the comments.
If you'd like to get more lit, be sure to subscribe to us on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, CastBox, or anywhere else that you listen to us. All of our other social media will be linked in the description below.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave it a like or rate our podcast. It really helps us to keep doing what we love. Until next time, bye.
Bye.